Good morning and welcome back to Questioning Sense with me, Matt. How you guys doing? I hope you are well and all is good in your world. It's all very fine here. Everything's tickety-boo. Just come back from the school run, house to myself. Thought I'd make a quick video. Now, a couple of things. Obviously, Oud Fest happened at the weekend, so thank you very much for those of you that tuned in and supported that. It was great. Really enjoyed it. Come away with a ton of stuff to talk about, so there's going to be quite a few Oudie or Oud special reviews coming up. So lots to interest those of you who are, fans of Oud. I've got lots of samples to go through, so there will be quite a lot of Oud related content coming your way. But don't worry, if you're not into Oud, don't panic. There's still going to be the usual reviews and lists and all the rest of it. Now I have quite a few new perfumes that I need to review, and I will get around to doing it. I've got a load of decants now. I've got an awful lot of perfumes, as you well know, so what I'm trying to do now is be a little bit sensible and not just keep buying lots of perfume. So I've taken to buying lots of decants. Now I've already had lots of decants, so there's going to be quite a few videos coming forward where I've got to, I'll go through some of the decants, because I normally like to get a 10ml or thereabouts, and sort of, you get to know the perfume a little bit more than you do with just a sample. So, I'm going to be spending a lot of time with my decants and hopefully getting some, reviews of those out to you. It's just a really cost-effective way of exploring perfume. You get to spend a lot of time with the perfume, you get to know it a lot better. And then, 10 mils is quite a lot. By the time you finish that, you will definitely know if you want to go ahead and buy a bottle or not. Anyway, that's all to look forward to. So today, this video is completely inspired by this morning. It's kind of been done off the cuff, but something happened this morning. I got up, I sprayed my scent of the day, and I put my post up on Instagram, which is what I normally do. And then I kind of looked at the perfume in my hand and thought, let me just have a look. So I went through, because I've reviewed it. I've reviewed all of these, apart from one. So there's a list of 5 perfumes coming up, 4 of which I've reviewed, 1 I haven't. And I looked at the viewing figures on these, and they're all really, really low. And that's probably because some of it's because the videos are quite old, and we didn't have so many subscribers when me and Rich did the videos. But also, I think this is a thing that we have within FragCom. Now, a lot of the big reviewers, they get sent bottles. We occasionally get sent a bottle to review, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. But I think content-wise, a lot of the big reviewers tend to focus on what's new or what they think are going to pull in the most views and things like that. And again, I've got no complaints with that at all. I think it's fair enough. A lot of the bigger reviewers have their channels as their business, for example. That's what they do for a living, and that's great. I'd love to earn a living doing this, but realistically, it's not going to happen. So this reminds me of why me and Rich set this channel up in the first place. Questioning Sense was about our experience with fragrances. This is a chance for us to have a platform to talk about the perfumes that we love, that we wear. And one of the main drivers for setting up Questioning Sense was the fact that there are so many perfumes in my collection, in Rich's collections, that we just don't see on YouTube or even talked about in FragCom. So today we're going to do a quick video. It's going to be a whistle-stop tour of 5 fragrances that FragCom forgot or FragCom never found. So I hope you find this interesting. They're all fragrances that I absolutely adore, and I think you will too, and that's why I'm making this video. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. There will be obviously some crossover. Some of you will have seen these before, and a lot of you won't have done, because we've had so many new subscribers come on lately. It's been an absolutely amazing journey, and with so many more people coming along board, we're going to recap on some classics. And as I say, there's 1 here that I've not reviewed and 4 that I have. So let's get on with it, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, first up, this one. This is a glorious, glorious fragrance. It's called Homme, and it's from Costume National. This is a beautiful fragrance. Now, a couple of friends I know have got this, and they absolutely adore it, and there's a good reason for it. We've got one of my favourite materials in it. It's got lots and lots of sandalwood, and it's absolutely stunning. What this does is this takes sandalwood and it uses a little bit of spices and a little bit of oomph just to get this across. Now, I get amazing performance out of this. This is almost beast mode on me. My friend Carolyn, she has it, and she gets fantastic performance as well. Now, another one of our subscribers has mentioned a couple of times he doesn't get great performance out of this one, which is a real surprise to me, because, you know, when something works for me and it's big and it's bold and it's wonderful, and then somebody says, oh, it doesn't really work on me, I really, you know, I feel guilty, you know, that I love this fragrance so much and it's a beast on me, and then somebody else says, no, it doesn't really work for me. I feel, oh mate, I'm so sorry. But on me and everybody else I know that's tried this, apart from Neil, this does really well on our skin. It's a beautiful fragrance. It reminds me of a little of Chanel's Egoist, and in which case it therefore by definition will remind me a little bit of GOF Trumper's Sandalwood Cologne. Now this slightly does differ, because Sandalwood Cologne is a little bit more spicy. This has got a lot of spice in it, but they're a sort of a softer spice, so it's not as spiky. And with Egoist, it's got, you know, sometimes people complain a little bit about the rosy note in Egoist. There's none of that in this one. But what this to me is a perfect example of, if you were to take two well-known perfumes and blend them together, you'd get something like this. And the perfumes in question would be Chanel's Egoist and Le Labo's Santal 33. Because in the dry down, this does remind me quite a lot of the Le Labo. And it's got like this sandalwood, but the sandalwood almost feels green. So if you're a fan of Le Labo's Santal 33, but don't like that pickly note or that kind of reference to dill, you're all right with this one. And because, you know, Santal 33 is such a popular fragrance, it's almost like a cult. You know, people go nuts for it. I think there's even a term in the States for people that wear Santal 33. And the fact that this is in the same kind of wheelhouse, but not being a clone, it's nothing like, you know, it's not a clone. If you wore them side by side, there's a lot of differences between them, but it kind of does the same thing. And that really surprises me why this one hasn't got the popularity. Maybe it's because it's a sort of an Italian niche clothing house, rather, you know, an Italian designer, should I say, rather than a sort of a niche perfumer. Maybe, I don't know. You know, it's a fantastic fragrance. It's got an amazing pedigree. You know, it's made by Dominic Ropignon, for crying out loud, who's, you know, one of the biggest names in the business. So I'm really surprised that we don't see much more traction for this. It's also, I mean, this is a 50ml, and this can be had for a really good price. You can get this for under £60 if you shop around. And when you're thinking that you could spend that money, more than that, on a normal average designer, when you could get a really interesting designer, one that, you know, will make you stand out and make you smell unique and make you smell completely different to anybody else wearing it, that's well worth having a look at. The bottle is beautiful. The cap is hilarious because it looks exactly like the sprayer. When I first got it, obviously, I was, oh, there's no cap with this one, nothing happening. And then you can see why, the sprayer's underneath. So it's got this weird little concave bottle. I really enjoy this one. It's one that I'm never going to be without. I love wearing this to work. It's really good for formal occasions. It's completely unisex. Thrusters might not like this as much as the old farts because it has got a more of a refined edge to it, but crikey, it's a good one. Okay, so that's number one. Let's put that over here. Number two is a relatively new one for me that I've not heard much about, and it's from Swedoft, and it's called Darin's Musk. This was a real good friend to me on Saturday because I was going to Oud Fest. I'm not leaving the house without a perfume. No way is that happening. But I wanted something that I could wear that's going to get me there. It's going to get me through the day, etc., etc. But it's not going to interfere with some of the more challenging fragrances or some of the more challenging oils that I'm going to be spending time smelling. At Oud Fest, I did some live reviewing without notes or anything. So you've really got to have your nose in gear to try and break down these wonderful oils that I was smelling. And I wanted something that isn't going to interfere with that. And I love musk. A good musk fragrance, I think, is an asset to any collection. So Darin's Musk is a very new release from Swedoft. I think it came out this year. Now, what I like about it, there's a little bit of history. It's named after the port of Darin, which used to be at the centre of the musk trade back in the day. Now, obviously, as we know, musk has changed considerably now. It's nearly always synthetic, and quite rightly so. There's no animal cruelty involved in it. That kind of malarkey. I think certain houses are actually still using real deer musk, but they have a licence for it, and the deer that are used in the perfume are being used for other things as well. So it's not just, you know, a wanton destruction of an animal for cosmetic purposes. I think there's, you know, the furs used, the meat's eaten, and all that sort of thing. So, you know, that's a chat for another day, the ethics of you know, meat and things like that. I mean, I'm not going to get too caught up in that now. So Darin's Musk, before I get completely sidetracked, is a light, fresh musk. Very simple notes. It's musk, it's rose, and it's anise. Now, what you get is a really clean smell with a hint of the rose and a hint of the anise, and that's pretty much it, but it's beautiful. It projects really, really well to start off with, and then it sits quite close to your skin. It becomes quite soft, but that's exactly what you want. Now, when I applied this, I left my house on Saturday at about 8:45, so I jumped out the shower, had my breakfast, applied my perfume, and off I shot. So I left here, you know, I probably put this on about 8 o'clock in the morning. I then went to Oudfest and I was there all day, and then I came back and I met my family at my son's godparents, basically. They're in our bubble. So I went round there for a birthday, and I was there till, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Came home, woke up in the morning, and bearing in mind, I'd only applied this to my neck and chest. I hadn't put it on my hands or my wrist or anything like that. It was still very, very visible. I could really, really pick up on it. So the performance on this is outstanding. It's such a long-lasting fragrance. It's really clean, and despite the fact it's got anise in it and rose, it still maintains a real freshness to it. So you have a clean, airy musk, which is suitable for any environment. You could dress it up, you could wear it to work. It's completely unisex, and I think this is excellent. This is going to do really well for Swedoft. I think this is going to be one of the stars of their collection. If you like musk, and I'm a big, big fan of musk, a lot of the musky fragrances I have are quite dirty musks, so, you know, that makes it a bit sort of, you know, edgy, I suppose, and not everybody likes a dirty musk. But I like a clean musk as well, and I haven't got many, so this has become a real star in my collection. So I highly recommend you get this. I think with Swedoft you can get samples, so please sample it. But if you like a clean musk, bang, that's your man. Really, really good one. Okay, moving on. Now, this one here, I've mentioned it in a couple of compilations, and it has got its own review. I don't understand why nobody talks about this. And I don't understand why the viewing figures for this one are so low. This is Cap Néroli by Parfums de Nicolaï. This is one of my go-to summer bangers. It's just divine. And what I like about it is, like everything from the house, it really, really lasts. The performance on this is astronomical. When you consider that this is a light neroli based fragrance, it's outstanding. When I reviewed this, I mentioned it before, I've struggled to find a long lasting neroli fragrance. It's always kind of like neroli orange blossom, blah, blah, blah. We all love it. You know, you've got loads of examples of it. You've got 4711, which lasts about a couple of minutes, but that's what it was designed to do. You have Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino, a fragrance I adore, which is absolutely awful on my skin. I love the smell of it. It just doesn't last. And then I have Ferrari's Bright Neroli, which is a beautiful fragrance, one of the best value fragrances out there you're going to get. But it is okay. I wouldn't get through a work. It wouldn't last a meal day for a day at work. No way, especially when it's hot, which is when I really want the Neroli. And the only other option I've got is Acqua di Parma's Colonia Essenza, which is a fantastic fragrance with Neroli in, but it's not necessarily, you know, all about the Neroli. This is, and this lasts all day. I get such stunning performance from Cap Néroli. It just, oh, it's beautiful. It gets me through a day at work. And obviously, you know, when I'm wearing it, it's going to be a hot day. I have tried this in cooler weather though, and I must say it works incredibly well. Totally unisex, probably a little bit more feminine leaning, but beautiful, clean, elegant, fresh, invigorating, a bit zingy, beautiful stuff. One, it's timeless. The young thrusters will love this, same as the farts. The farts will really, really get on with it too, because it's just got a bit of dignity about it. It makes you smell quite, you know, well groomed, well refined, and well looked after, and there's nothing wrong with that. So please explore this one. I really, really highly recommend it. Okay, the last two, the big boys. Okay, now, this is one that I recommended to Richard, and Richard blind bought it, and I think he's blind bought a further 2 bottles of it. And that's from Andy Tower, and this is Patch Flash. This is absolutely stunning. This is such a beautiful fragrance. And oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, this can be had for like a 30ml bottle for about £50. So, you know, bargain, bargain, bargain. This one, Patch Flash, can be had for £53 for a 30ml bottle. This is extraordinarily good. In fact, this is one of the best fragrances that I have ever smelled. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. It's Andy Tower using his alchemy, his little magical blending skills to knock out a patchouli fragrance that is godlike. It's absolutely beautiful. It's woody, it's patchouli, it's booze, there's a little bit of ambriness in it. It's absolutely massive. It has huge sillage. It gets compliments after compliment after compliment. Pretty much every time you wear this, someone's going to compliment you on it, because it gets everywhere. It's got huge projection, it's incredibly long lasting, and it fills a room in the nicest possible way. It is quite boozy, so maybe not one for work. I have worn this for work and I didn't get taken off for a drugs and drink test, so that was good. But not so, you know, it's not something that if you work in an environment where there's a zero alcohol policy, probably not a good one to wear for work, because it does have a real boozy note to it. But it is beautiful. If someone was to say to me, look, I've got a large collection of designer fragrances, but I want to make the step into niche, but I don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds, this is the one I recommend. £53 for a 30ml. When you look at, say, a Nascimato, which is also a 30ml bottle, that's like 120, 130 pounds. Equally as good as anything Nascimato I've done, and you know how much I love Nascimato. You know, Mas Milano, they all do these 30ml bottles, but they're all a lot more expensive than this. Andy Tower has knocked this one out the park. Couple of good friends of mine that are into fragrance have bought bottles of this on my recommendation, and they absolutely love it. It's just awesome. Patchouli is the star, but then there's this boozy, ambery, woody, barrel-like smell that comes with it, and it pushes out very, very sophisticated smelling. This is an absolute dream to wear on a big night out. If you're, you know, going out suited and booted, wear this. If you're just going to the pub in jeans and a t-shirt with your mates, you can wear this as well. Beautiful. It is quite masculine leaning, but on the right woman, this will smell divine. So absolute bargain, bargain, bargain. I think it's only Le Senteurs in the UK that stock this, but you can probably find it on eBay or something like that, or go direct to Tower and try and get it there, because it does have slightly iffy stock issues. I think Andy Tower releases small amounts of these patch series. I mean, they're all good. All the Flash series are really, really good. But Patch Flash, I think it comes in and out of stock. When you see it, just grab a bottle. You will not, you know, no regrets there. You will thank me for this. And if you don't like it, you'll be able to move it on really, really easy. But I can't see anybody not liking this. It's absolutely stunning if you like booze and patchouli. So highly, highly, highly recommended. Okay. And then finally, this one. This is the perfume that I'm wearing today. And this was the whole cause of this video. And that is Angela Flanders Amber Noir. I don't hear anything about this fragrance. It's never mentioned in lists. It's never mentioned on YouTube. It's barely seen on Instagram, which surprises me because it's absolutely stunning. I've had this well over a year and look how little of it I've used. And the reason I don't wear it so much is it's really good for cold. It's a proper winter's fragrance. But because it's so bloody strong, it lasts and lasts and lasts. It just doesn't go anywhere. It's really heavy. Really, really exciting. It's boozy. It's got a little bit of animalics in there. I think there's some civet in the opening, and then the booze kicks in, and then you've got these woods. You've got this deep, like dark pipe tobacco, and you've got this ambery note that comes through. There's a bit of incense in there. There's a little bit of smoke. All swirls in there to make this mysterious, incredibly sexy fragrance. This is divine. On me, it smells amazing. On my wife, it smells fabulous. It's just such an amazing fragrance. It's deep, it's unctuous, it's rich, it's exciting, it's exotic, it's dark. Oh yeah, this is the one. If you want to try this, you can. Angela Flanders is a London-based perfumer. She sadly is no longer with us, but I understand it's her daughter that runs the business now, and she's got 2 stores in London, but they do mail order and they do samples, so you can, you know, get samples online and try them. I personally think this is probably my favourite amber, and I know that's a really big thing to say when you've got so many good ambers on the market, but this is beautiful. It's dark, it's mysterious, it's just, mate, it's lovely. I thoroughly recommend you try this one. And honestly, on a cold morning, or, you know, if you're going out, I mean, I wore this last year. We went out, like this carol singing type event, so we were going out into the cold, and I put this on, and it just lifted up everything. We went on public transport, and I smelled godlike all the way there. It was just, it was amazing. And then sort of did some carol singing, went for some drinks after, and it was, you know, a wonderful evening. But this just was the star of the show. Loads of people asked me what I was wearing. Loads of people, you know, asked me where they could get it. It's one that, you know, once people smell it, you'll think, why isn't anybody talking about this? And I don't know why. And maybe Angela Flanders aren't particularly good at pushing themselves out there to the market. I don't know. They don't seem to have much of a presence online. They don't seem to have much of a presence on Instagram or Facebook and things like that. You know, fair enough. How they market their business is up to them. But they should be shouting off the rooftops about this one. It's absolutely beautiful. So, you know, please, please, please have a crack at it. Have a look at the site and see if there's samples you want to try. There's about 5 or 6 that I've tried from them, and they've all been really, really good. So hopefully I'll be adding to the Angela Flanders collection, because this is like 50 odd pounds as well for a 30ml, and this will last you forever. Really, really good fragrance and excellent value. So all of these actually have been, you know, really, really good value. The Swedoft one, this is a 30ml. I love a house that does 30ml bottles. I think that's a fantastic one. So there you have it. These are my 5 fragrances. I'll put my teeth in. These are my 5 fragrances that I think FragCom have forgotten or FragCom haven't found. So if you've tried any of these, let me know and we'll have a chat about it in the comments. We will be back with you very soon. Hopefully, obviously, I'm going to plough through the Oud reviews and obviously keep reviewing, you know, as I said earlier, about the decants and all the new additions to the collection. So listen, guys, as always, it's a real pleasure doing these reviews. I hope you enjoy them, and thank you ever so much for all your time. So from me and Rich, cheers and bye.